I got to win Super Bowls. I got to win
Yeah.
MVPs. I have to be the most dominant receiver in the league. There's a lot of goals, but the one that tops it all is go ahead and be better than your father ever was.
You are working with your father, Jerry Rice, for a new Breathe Right nasal strips ad. So, how was the experience working with Jerry on a brand that made him it made that he made famous during the 1990s?
I'm just seeing that legacy passed on. I'm a big man of legacy and just continuing to thrive within the Rice legacy and just having that breathe rights passed down from one generation to another. It's a huge impact on me. And just to like go ahead and share my experiences about nasal congestion and how it helps improve my game is huge.
Of course, and obviously, in with your father, he was in that photo, the Air Jerry campaign. It's such an iconic photo. I remember that while growing up. So, when did you first see that photo, and what was your reaction when you first saw it?
I first saw that photo when I was around 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then just seeing that being brought up as we were doing the campaign was like, oh, it was like huge nostalgia. And just like going ahead and watching how like it progressed throughout generations, I was like, yes, I want to go ahead and take this on. I want to go ahead and be a part of this big brand and go ahead and move it into my game.
Course. And I know I watched that video of, Jerry quizzing you about his NFL career, which was really a great video. But what was one stat or a couple stats that you were surprised to learn about your father?
I definitely knew about all the career receptions and the touchdowns
Yeah.
and all the accolades that the yards and accolades that he had, except that he was a Super Bowl MVP. So once I
Mm.
learned that, I was like, man, like, what didn't you do at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I actually got to talk to Jerry a couple months ago and just, talk about his career and talk about, some of the things that he told you when it comes to your career. So, how much do you go to him when it comes to advice?
Oh, I go to him about a lot of stuff. I send him all my one-on-one tapes.
Mm.
We go over blocking and just the fundamentals of the game. He tells me a lot of times I'm too high on my routes, and then so I started to sit a little lower, run a little lower, be a little more dominant within my game of football. One thing that we go at each other a lot is for how I'm faster than him, 40 time wise. But
Yeah.
he was always talking about how he never got caught from behind though.
Mm. That's awesome. And now, obviously, you're a wide receiver at USC, and the team is at the halfway point through the season. So, how would you kind of grade or evaluate yourself at this point in the year?
I definitely left a couple things out there this year that I have to
Yeah.
go ahead and capitalize on. For making the most of my opportunities, I believe I got 26 catches for around 500 yards
Right.
and 8 touchdowns. So I'm trying to go ahead and make the most of my opportunities that I'm given because we're in such a spread and talented offense, a group of receivers that can go ahead and do anything at any given moment. So just each day in, day out, it's about a mentality that you're gonna have to come to work every single day just to earn uh the few balls that you might get in the game, and then with those few balls, you're gonna have to go and score every time. I would rate myself, I believe, like a B minus, a B plus.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And obviously USC's quarterback is Caleb Williams. You played with him for a couple of seasons. So he won the Heisman last year, probably going to be the number one overall pick in the NFL draft next year. So what's the best thing about playing with Caleb Williams?
The best thing about playing with Caleb Williams is with him, you know, you're never out of the race. That no
Yeah,
matter what, you're gonna be given the chance to make an impact on a game or multiple games. And even though he was a Heisman last year, I would not be surprised if he goes on and pushes his team to go ahead and defeat Washington and Oregon against other Heisman front runners, and he goes back to back.
absolutely. And USC suffered a couple of losses, but it's still in a great position in terms of the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is really strong this season, and USC has a chance to win it all if they finish strong. So what does a team need to do in order to have that strong finish and win the conference?
I would just say the team has to go ahead and come back to the basics and come back to that brotherhood dynamic where we play for one another and we strive day in and day out to get better. People have to gain that hunger again to go out there and prove people wrong. And the best thing about falling down is, hey, like it's time to get up and remind these people we're still USC.
Of course, absolutely. Once the college football season ends, you'll be getting ready for the NFL draft. So when it comes to the draft, is there a team you prefer playing for, or does it even matter?
Any opportunity that I'm given, I would be thankful for.
Yeah.
A lot of people say 49ers, a lot of people say Denver Broncos. I'm just thankful to even be in this position because I remember growing up as a little boy, I would always look at the Jerry Rice highlights, the Ocho Cinco, the Megatron, the Julio Joneses. And I wanted to put myself in a position where I could put my best foot forward to go into the draft. And I feel like I'm doing just that.
Of course. And one last question before I let you go is when you get to the NFL, what goals do you have for your professional football career?
I got to win Super Bowls. I got to win
Yeah.
MVPs. I have to be the most dominant receiver in the league. There's a lot of goals, but the one that tops it all is go ahead and be better than your father ever was.
Mm, I like that. Absolutely. And I think you're on your way to doing that. Well, Brenden, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And good luck to you the rest of the season.